Hey, what's going on? It's your boy. Nah, forget the introduction, all right? Forget the introduction because they just robbed Sergey Kovalev, all right? Now, it was a great fight. Respect to Andre Ward. I know a lot throughout the course of these last few months, a lot of venom has been spewed from myself between people in the YTBC, but he showed a lot of time. Let's actually listen to the Sergey Kovalev interview. Let's see what he has to say about this fight before I talk about it.
It's a wrong decision, you know, like just come on. I don't want to say my opinion, you know, like people, witnesses is here. Witnesses are here. Everybody saw what happened.
Everybody saw it.
You not only had early success, including a knockdown, but as he started to try to rattle you and as he fought better as the fight wore on, you never lost your composure. You stayed disciplined. How did you do that?
It's my job, Max. I made a shape for this fight like maybe like since 11 years old, you know. Like this was a fight all of my life, you know, like. And like really, I'm disappointed for judge's decision. Like people say like
many people, maybe most people will say that you won. Harold Letterman scored for you wide at ringside. I thought it was a very close fight that could have gone either way. Did you feel that he was fighting his way back into the fight later on?
Yeah, he got maybe a few rounds, you know. Like I'm agreed that not a full fight. Like it's really like I kept control all the.
He even went back to his jab.
When he went back to his jab and he started, you know, putting that stick on him later in the fight, you know, he won a couple of those rounds.
Do you want a rematch?
Of course.
Of course.
I want a rematch, like, and I will kick his ass, like. I just wanted, you know, like short of boxing, like a good boxing, like. No short round fight, you know, like not small rounds.
You showed great.
Thank God for the rematch clause.
You did. It was a tremendous fight that lived up to the hype. Is there anything you will do differently?
I'll watch the rematch.
Listen, man, if the Russian is able to have better stamina, he'll beat him, dog, because he was demolishing that dude.
In USA, you know, he's a local, and all judges was from USA. Like, I'm agree that they support his.
Bro, look at his face and go look at
honestly, like it's a sport. Don't make it politics, you know. Like,
we're gonna have a lot of talk. We're gonna have a lot to talk about tonight, guys. A lot to talk about. I haven't done a live hangout in a while, but we're gonna touch on a lot of different things.
For you to think that
great fight, but the right guy didn't win tonight.
Many think you won. You got robbed. I don't think that's an unreasonable conclusion. Sergey, thank you very much for
he said it. That's why I like that.
We hope to see this again.
Yeah, Max Kellerman.
Well, he still thinks you won one, but
as the decision was being announced,
look at his face, Papa.
Trained on Andre Ward. So take a look here.
He didn't even know he was gonna win.
He didn't think he was. He didn't think he won.
Michael Butler is saying the new light heavyweight champion.
And then he's like, "Yeah, I won. I knew I won."
Was he surprised? You be the judge.
Stevenson. Let's go on Stevenson.
Back at ringside, Roy Jones.
All right, so on that note, we're live right now. On Google Hangout. Alex, you want to say anything to people at home?
Let's go down to Stevenson.
Let's go down to Stevenson. We're gonna go over here. We're gonna go on set. You know, we're gonna go where we used to be at.
I'm officially a Stevenson fan.
Yeah, man. But
shout out to Trump, yo.
Shout out to Trump. But you know, it was a great fight. You know, let's get into the whole fight, guys. First of all, you know, Andre Ward. I know, like I said, I've said a lot of bad things about him. You know, maybe I've shortchanged him in some areas, mainly because I felt Roman Gonzalez doesn't get the credit he deserves. But tonight, any respect I didn't have for Andre Ward, like I definitely do respect him. I think he did. You know, he showed a lot of heart, fought very valiantly, and when Kovalev was able to clip him in the second round and put him on the canvas. You know, a lot of guys could be able to come back from that, survive that. And then, you know, for those first, like, I would say 2 to 3 rounds after that, he did a really, really great job in neutralizing Kovalev and kind of getting his, you know, footing and establishing his game plan. But with that being said, with the knockdown in the second round, with, you know, I just Kovalev, in the latter part of the fight, he was doing a good job getting back to his jab after he had lost. You know, why he wasn't throwing his jab, so he got back to it later in the fight, and he was able to eventually, you know, edge him in some rounds, man. I just think he was a cleaner, harder, and a more effective puncher tonight. And, you know, I think Ward did a good job of holding him and chopping to the body when he and creating good angles for himself. But he didn't really win enough rounds. And, you know, it is what it is. He wasn't a cleaner, more effective puncher. This is boxing. It's the sport of punching. And the more effective puncher tonight was Sergey the Crusher Kovalev. Now, the notion coming into this fight was that, you know, by some people, not everybody, people that were in the know, they understood that, you know, Sergey Kovalev was more than just some sort of Russian power puncher. He's a skillful boxer as well, and you saw it tonight. He got in there, and he was in there in a really fun chess match with Andre Ward. It was a fun chess match. You know, I had people here in my apartment who aren't boxing fans, who don't normally watch boxing, and they watched this fight, and they left tonight satisfied. Not necessarily the result, but with how the fight played out and how exciting it was. I think this fight, in my opinion, surpassed expectation. It was a great fight, great fight. But Kovalev did win, and I mean, it is what it is, man. I think he did a good job of for the most part, I would say in those middle rounds, like probably like rounds 4 through maybe like majority of the middle rounds, he got away from his jab, and Ward was able to impose his game plan at the highest level in those particular rounds. But outside of like probably like a couple of those middle rounds and maybe one of the later rounds, Kovalev was the harder puncher. Kovalev was bringing the fight to Ward. Kovalev was holding his ground when Ward, for the most part, when Ward would tie him up. And I mean, it is what it is, man. I give both guys credit. I think they both, not just Kovalev, but Andre Ward also, they did boxing well with the way they fought, how intelligent they were in the ring. But like Teddy Atlas has said many times, Teddy Atlas is saying, you know, boxing has so many black eyes, and it gets another one here because the right guy didn't win. It's not a matter of whether I wanted Kovalev to win or you know, if I wanted Ward to win. It's just I want to see the right guy to get the decision. If I felt Ward did enough to win the fight and he got robbed, even if I was rooting for him, I would still be pissed off because this is about boxing growing. Tonight it was supposed to be about boxing and how great the sport truly is. And it was. In the ring, the fight itself truly was a great fight. Both guys brought it tonight, and they made up for a very terrible undercard. Okay, very terrible undercard, and we'll get into that as well. But it takes away from the fight because both of these guys, because the right guy didn't win. And even Andre Ward himself, you guys, he was surprised. He was surprised that he won. He looked like a dejected fighter after the bell rang, and as he's waiting a decision, and he's walking, and the HQ had the cameras on him, and then he gets the decision, and he looks kind of surprised. So I think a rematch is in order. I think Kovalev knew, and credit to whether it was main event or Kovalev or someone in this team, whoever imposed the rematch clause, you know, credit to them because they knew that this was a very big possibility with Andre Ward many times in his career getting special treatment, with Andre Ward always having the hometown advantages. And I knew, I hate to say it, guys, but I knew when I saw the when I saw that one of the judges was Burt Clements, when I saw that it was Burt Clements, I knew for a fact that there was going to be some funny business. I was saying it. I was saying it before it happened. Everybody here that was watching the fight, I had about 4 or 5 other people me watching the fight. They thought Kovalev won, and 2 of them were rooting for Andre Ward. I was saying, no, I think they're going to give this decision to Ward, and they did. I wanted to be wrong so bad, but I wasn't this time. So it is what it is. Andre Ward, where does he go from here? You know, I think he's got to get Kovalev a rematch. He's got to come see Kovalev, because how the hell do you, number one, get knocked down in the second round? You lost the first round. You get outboxed in a number of other rounds. His only true highlights came in those middle rounds when he was chopping Kovalev to the body, tying him up at like that highest level. So, I mean, it is what it is. As I'm actually making this video, shout out to Mr. Boxing Today. He just texted me. He said Mr. Boxing Today himself texted me saying I had Kovalev winning at very least winning by 1, maybe 2 points, but it was a clean victory. So even Mr. Boxing Today who's a very fair guy, probably one of the most fair guys on the YouTube boxing community, he even thought that Kovalev won this fight. So it is what it is, man. I know it's going to give us a lot to talk about. I mean, controversy always gives us a lot to talk about. But where does Ward go from here? He's the guy at light heavyweight. He's beaten, the Crusher. He's went up and I guess he kind of did the unthinkable in beating him. So what's next for him? So hopefully maybe he gives Adonis Stevenson a rematch. Not Adonis Stevenson. Sergey Kovalev. I'm tripping. Sergey Kovalev rematch. If not Sergey Kovalev, then he can go fight in Arthur Beterbiev or like I said, Adonis Stevenson. So it is what it is. But look, when I was gonna make this video, this is the one part I was most looking forward to, and this is talking about the aftermath of this fight and how it affects who truly is the best fighter in boxing. Now, as you guys know, I made a string of videos saying that Roman Gonzalez, regardless of what happened on November 19th, will still be the pound for number one fighter. And November 19th has came and went, and Roman Gonzalez is still the number one pound for pound fighter because the right guy didn't win tonight. And not just that, although Ward had a good performance, he wasn't able to impose his game plan to a level to where he won convincingly. Unlike Roman, Roman, the same argument you can make for Roman losing against Quadras, I can make for Ward because his face was a lot more busted up than Kovalev's was. Kovalev went to the locker room tonight looking clean as a whistle. So, I mean, it is what it is. But I want to give a lot of credit to the referee tonight, Robert Byrd. Robert Byrd did a hell of a job refereeing. Ward was able to get inside and still clinch, but it wasn't like how it usually is when you see Ward elbowing, excessively clinching, headbutting. At least when I watched the fight, maybe I'll go back and I'll see some other stuff. But from what I remember, it really wasn't as bad as usually. So Robert Byrd, I think, did a good job of policing some of the roughhouse tactics of Andre Ward, and just kept the fight controlled. And we got the best fight I believe we could have possibly gotten. But I believe we were cheated out of the decision. So it is what it is. I mean, yeah, man, it's great fight for boxing, but it sucks, man. You wonder why the UFC is killing boxing. I don't want to say killing boxing, but UFC is overtaking boxing. You'll never kill boxing, but I'm saying overtaking boxing in popularity is because of things like this. When the guy who wins doesn't get the just decision. Fan to love a sport or continue to follow a sport when one guy wins and you saw that he won, but he doesn't get the decision, and the other guy should get rewarded for that because what? He's the American fighter? Because what? He's an Olympic gold medalist? Come on, man. I think Kovalev was right in saying, he's the hometown guy. That's why I got the decision. And that's why I thought he'd win. But that's neither here nor there. But to the people out there, in the boxing world who said that Kovalev didn't have the boxing skills to hang with Andre Ward, they said that he was just some slow, plodding Russian puncher. That I have heard some people who really don't follow boxing say that he's like Ruslan Provodnikov and he doesn't have skills. I don't know what the hell they were watching, but he proved tonight, just as he did in the Bernard Hopkins fight, that not only is he one of the most complete fighters in the game today, but that he can compete in a chess match with one of the best chess players in boxing in Andre Ward. And I think when you really sit down and think about that, that gives a lot of credence to how good and just how complete Kovalev is as a fighter. So just ponder that for a second. Andre Ward is an Olympic gold medalist. He's been in there with top-level guys, guys, Fraj, Kessler, you guys know the names already. And he was able to sit there for many rounds in the middle of the ring against a chess player, and he was able to mix in feints. He was able to hold his ground in the clinches. Even at times later on in the fight, chopped the body in the clinches just like Ward did. So I think you got to give Ward a lot of credit tonight for the skills that he showed, as I'm giving Ward credit for the toughness that he showed, because let's be honest for a second. When Ward has he had the knee injuries, and he you guys remember, like, he pulled out of the Cotto Canelo undercard that he was supposed to fight him because of a knee injury, and he could have easily folded in that second round. I mean, it looked very much so like he could have folded, but he showed a lot of toughness, and he showed a lot of mental focus and intensity, and just discipline to still stick to his game plan and impose it. Not just stick to it, but impose it which I believe kept him in the fight. You saw Kovalev, his legs getting a little tired. Alex, me fair, Alex.
Yes.
Turn the volume off over there. But he was imposing his game plan. He was chopping to the body. He was doing all the things that he needed to do to win this fight. You know, if Andre Ward doesn't count that one shot, you know, it's a much different fight. And now these guys have 12 rounds of data on each other. I feel like Kovalev, whatever he did for conditioning, he's gonna have to do a little bit more for his next training camp, because I feel like he began to fade a little bit in the middle rounds, which let Ward back into the fight. But man, a great fight for boxing, and light heavyweight division is gonna get a lot interesting now with Ward holding those belts. We got to see where he goes from here. You know, this was the third fight on his HBO deal. This was the agreement to eventually fight Kovalev, which is honestly, look, I'm really not trying to be a sore loser. I'm not, but I really feel Kovalev won the fight. I think it was a big disservice to boxing that Kovalev didn't get the decision. And that's not taking away credit from Ward. I thought he fought very well tonight. I just think Kovalev should have got the decision. But with that being said, Ward, in my opinion, one of the big reasons that he got the decision was because HBO signed him to that big deal. And this was the last part of that deal. The agreement was to eventually fight Kovalev, and he held his end of the bargain. So I give him credit for that. But it's now up. That deal is now up. So if the deal is now up, you know, this is I guess another way of trying to keep him. They gave him the decision. He knows he lost. A lot of people know he lost. And they can this will be the way of retaining him. So we'll see what happens, man. But I would like to see him if he's not going to fight Kovalev, although I think he should. I think it's a really big disservice if he doesn't give Kovalev a rematch, and he's a sissy if he doesn't. At bare minimum, if you're not going to fight Kovalev, then go after Arthur Beterbiev. Go after Adonis Stevenson. There is action for Andre Ward at 175. I just don't want to see him go on another long layoff. If you're truly what many people believe you are, and that's being pound for pound one of the best fighters in the world. And I think this win actually, even if they were to get ruled Andre Ward, even if they would have given Andre Ward a loss, I would have actually been more inclined to put him on a pound for pound list anyway, just because of how he performed. It wasn't a dirty performance. And he was able to neutralize Kovalev for those middle rounds. So I gave him credit for that. All right. I know you guys, Brennan hates Andre Ward. I'm not a big fan of him, but I'm giving him his credit. He did a good job of neutralizing him, but he lost the fight. But he's got to prove. I think he's still got to prove himself. He's got to prove himself as like the top guy in boxing, if that's what you guys view him as. Because when you look at it, okay, what in theory, what was Kovalev Ward? I know they marketed the fight as, well, it's pound for pound, you know, the best fighting the best. And it was two really good fighters fighting each other, but best light heavyweights fighting the best. I mean, I wouldn't go that far. Ward legitimized himself tonight as a light heavyweight. I gave him that. He legitimized himself as a light heavyweight tonight because of how he was able to neutralize Kovalev and impose a game plan in spots during the fight. But in theory, not in theory, in reality, all this fight really was the best light heavyweight in the world fighting a guy who was maybe like top 5, 7-ish in the division. And now it's Ward's job. Now that he got the decision, whether I agree with it or not, now that he got the decision, now that he is the champion, it's time to defend that belt. And, you know, like I said, there's action for him at light heavyweight. In fact, while I'm sitting here just talking, let's go through the rankings real quickly. I know he's got Adonis Stevenson has the WBC, so we'll go to the lineal title. So we'll go to the IBF rankings. What are some fights for Andre Ward outside of the guys I've already named? I mentioned Beterbiev. I mentioned Stevenson. But the IBF ratings, let's see. Just light heavyweight. Let's go over here. Light heavyweight. So Ward is another champion. It's crazy. I know people are going crazy tonight with these videos, but all right. So Andre Ward is another champion. So you have guys like Arthur Beterbiev, like I named earlier, and then in the IBF rankings, Shawnee Monahan. I know you guys, most of you probably watching this don't know who the hell Shawnee Monahan is, but he's like a kind of he's like heavyweight who's been around for a little bit, club fighter type of style. He actually wanted to fight Andre Ward in the tune-up fight for this one. Like instead of Alexander Brand, Monahan wanted to fight Ward then, and he even expressed interest in fighting the winner of this fight, regardless of who it was. So that's an option for him. I think It's a style he'd do well with, and he would definitely win against, but it'd still be a tough, rugged fight against a good fighter who's been waiting for an opportunity to prove himself like a very long time. So Shawnee Monahan's an option for him. These rankings are terrible. They got Marcus Brown in there. Marcus Brown shouldn't even – he's got – yeah, Marcus Brown's number 6, bro. Marcus Brown's got hot rod problems. So the IBF rankings, I'm not really sure how I feel with the IBF rankings. But either way, I think Ward's in a very interesting situation. Either he's going to rematch Kovalev and give boxing fans a great trilogy type of, series, or he'll duck Kovalev. He'll justify his decision when he knows deep down that he got a gift tonight. Fought well, but he still got a gift. Or he's going to maybe retires. We don't know Andre. He's an unpredictable guy. And he got, it's crazy. This whole fight to me was a great fight, but I'm saying everything around it was kind of crazy because, Ward was never really a legitimate light heavyweight coming into this fight. You had, then you had him as a challenger, right? He's the challenger of this fight, and he's getting more money than Kovalev. He's getting he got $5 million guaranteed. Kovalev got $2 million guaranteed. Where the hell do they do that at? Where the challenger gets more than the champion? That makes zero sense. I understand Kovalev's not a big name, but neither is Andre Ward. I mean, Andre Ward, the dude had half of his tickets on for the brand fight on Groupon, and that's just facts. It's not me hitting it; it was really on Groupon. I mean, it is what it is. I don't know, man. I hate when fighters don't get the proper respect, and I feel like Kovalev, not just with the judging tonight, because that was terrible. We knew it was gonna happen with Burt Clements, but aside from the judging, I feel like you should have got paid more, but it is what it is, man. It just sucks, man. It just sucks. I thought he won. But I want to get into undercard. I want to try to touch on some of the fights on the undercard so I don't stay in this negative spirit too long. Before I even get into that, here, I got people here at the house. You guys, if you watch the channel, you've seen some of these faces before. We'll get their opinions on it. All right. A lot of you guys, hold on before I show them. A lot of you guys, this one kid right here, I did my Andre Ward Kovalev predictions video. You guys were clowning him. You were saying he didn't know anything about boxing because he said Kovalev was going to win. So, Alex, the big payback Fitzmaurice, tell people what are your opinions on this Andre Ward fight? Tell them.
It was a close fight. But I thought Kovalev should have gotten the decision. I felt the knockdown made the difference in the fight. I had a 7-5 Kovalev. I thought he landed the harder. Punches,
cleaner punches.
Cleaner punches, yeah, because all he was doing is this.
But he did a good job, though. He was chopping to the body.
Yeah, true, yeah.
All right, so you had 7-5 Kovalev. We'll go to somebody else, and this guy is an Andre Ward. He's even admitted Andre Ward is his second favorite fighter behind Danny Garcia. Paul, who do you got? Why do you think Andre Ward's decision was justified tonight?
I think so, man. I think Andre Ward won like the majority of the second half of the fight, and it was very close, though. It was very close. But I think Andre Ward won. It was close.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Ward definitely got like more of the second
Ward definitely showed he was able to come back from that knockdown, and his inside fighting was very respectable. Showed that it was elite, his inside fighting.
Okay.
Yes, that's my view on it.
That's his view on it. All right. So there you have it. Different point of views.
It was very close, though. I could see it going to Kovalev as well, and I could see it being a draw. It was just very laser thin. I just thought that Ward edged the majority of the second half of the fight.
Okay. All right. You got it from Paul, the biggest DSG fan in the world.
Sir.
He's going to be hitting you guys with them emojis on Twitter. But, yeah, man, it is what it is. So, it was an interesting night for boxing. It's definitely going to give us a lot to talk about, that's for sure. Hopefully, moving forward, we just get better judges. I don't know what we could do. What can we do? Maybe somebody can leave me a comment. What can we do to really fix this problem in boxing where we have such biased judges? I feel like, we get the same judges, Burt Clements, Dave Moretti, those guys, Julie Letterman, people who constantly screw up and they'll get punished for it. So it's crazy, man. But I want to get into some of the undercard stuff. I don't really want us to keep talking about it. I made the video about Claressa Shields earlier, so that'll probably be the last one I touched on. But we'll start with the fight that took place before Andre Ward and Kovalev, and that was Maurice Hooker versus, what was the guy's name?
Some Colombian.
The Colombian dude. I don't remember his name. I think it's Perez or something like that. But I never really seen much of Maurice Hooker. I've heard about him. think I've seen him fight one time, but I don't really remember it that well. So I guess you could count this as like the official first time that I watched him fight. And before he threw a punch and I saw him, Dalius Perez. Okay, Maurice Hooker versus Dalius Perez. So before I even saw Maurice Hooker throw a punch, I looked at him. I'm like, wow, he's got a good frame. He's long. He's lanky. He should probably have a really good jab, like a piston-like jab that's sharp. And I saw the exact opposite from this guy. This guy was throwing his jab, but it had like no steam on it. And then I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, he's got a jab. He's throwing it a lot. He's moving a lot. So eventually, common sense, the right hand is going to come and hit the shorter fighter. And he just refused to throw his right hand. I believe he really landed a good flush right hand to about the 8th or 10th round. It was like later in the fight. It was a 10-round fight. Later in the fight. And then this dude Perez, this guy was naturally a lightweight. Gamboa had beat him before. He moved up in weight. His first fight at 140 against this guy, Maurice Hooker. And this guy did a good job. He was patient. You know, like he wasn't like most Colombian fighters who kind of just go in there winging shots. He was patient. He picked his spots. He looked for openings. And when he found him, he was hitting him with good, clean shots, good punches. And I feel like he won that fight, 7-3. And they ruled it a draw, which is one of the many, mistakes they made tonight. So I'm not really big on Maurice Hooker. They said he sparred with guys like Terrence Crawford and Timothy Bradley, but didn't really look too sharp to me. So maybe you guys who are more well-versed in who Maurice Hooker is as a fighter can educate me, because I really didn't see anything too special tonight, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm even questioning how he got on this card. I don't think he was really that good, to be honest with you. Outside of that, we had the Curtis Stevens De La Rosa fight. And that fight was very interesting as well, because, Curtis Stevens is a guy who's also hooked up with John David Jackson. And, he was a guy tonight that, in the first couple rounds looked like money, looked like himself, the chin checker, just piecing up this dude De La Rosa. I know the guy who was in a fight, David Lemieux, and then David Lemieux was overweight in the scales. So he's piecing this dude up. He knocks him to the canvas, doing a great job of just hitting him with hard shots. And then eventually it's like this guy survives. He's hit him with his best shot, and De La Rosa goes the distance with this guy. De La Rosa goes the distance with this guy. Even lands some good shots throughout the course of the fight, good body shots, hits him with some jabs. I won a lot of rounds. I had him up slightly. I think I had him up by a round, but I could have seen a draw. And Curtis Stevens won, right? He won. He got the decision. Yeah. He got the decision. So, I mean, I don't think he won, but the cards were wide. I believe Dave Moretti was on the panel for judges, and I believe he had it as a 98-90 fight, which, as we know, Dave Moretti, one of the worst judges in boxing, maybe probably the worst judge of all time, if you ask me. So it is what it is. He gets a win, but it's not necessarily a win that's gonna raise his stock up. It's a win that we're gonna look at it and we're gonna say, well, why did you go to distance with this guy that you should have got out of there? So it is what it is there. And they had the Chilemba fight, which was cool. I really didn't care too much about it, but Chilemba broke his hand and he lost to the Russian dude who's like Kovalev's Ukrainian dude who's Kovalev's sparring partner. So it is what it is, man. But man, interesting night. I can't believe that. Well, I don't want to say I can't believe. I can believe. I expect boxing. It's just the way it is. But I can't. It pisses me off. I really wanted to Kovalev to get the decision, man. I felt like he won the fight, and it is what it is. I'm just gonna try to move on. If you guys have war on your pound for pound list, it is what it is. That's your prerogative. I don't think really he did enough to prove that he's better than Roman Gonzalez. He lost. He's kind of in the same situation as Roman Gonzalez. He's a guy who was in a big fight. Dictate the pace for the majority of the fight. War, not really. In a couple rounds here and there, yes, but not the majority of the fight. So that's what the difference is. But it's interesting that the same thing that you guys are criticizing Roman for, out there are not criticizing Andre Ward for. So we'll see how all this plays out in the YouTube box community, in the boxing world. I'm gonna be sitting back, watching, analyzing, maybe even ethering a couple people like I have in the past. But trying to show grace people here. We wasted too much time making those after videos, and we got a boxing ego, and that was pretty bad. You got destroyed pretty bad. But yeah, man, we got great fights coming up next week. We have Lomachenko, Nicholas Walters. That's going to be a really, really fun fight. If we talk about pound-for-pound fighters, the only two guys, really, to be honest with you guys, the only two guys in the world. You know what? I'm going to add Kovalev in there. The only three guys who I feel could really have any claim to being better than Roman Gonzalez as pound-for-pound number one would be like Lomachenko, Terrence Crawford, as far as their skills go, and Kovalev. Because Kovalev to get into a chess match with Andre Ward and have as much success as he did, I think that speaks to the level of how complete of a fighter he is. But aside from that, those three guys right there are the only guys I feel have any Golovkin as well. Get them in there. Any legitimate claim towards Roman Gonzalez. Roman Gonzalez has he is a complete fighter. He has the resume. He's taken the risks and he's won. So he has all that on the side, which is why I feel he's number one. But anyway, I'm rambling. Lomachenko versus Nicholas Walters is going to be a hell of a fight. A lot of people are favoring Lomachenko to win. They should. You know, he's a guy with faster hands, better footwork, just a more multi-dimensional fighter than Nicholas Walters. Walters, on the other hand, you know, they call him the Axeman for a reason, and the guy can get you out of there with one punch. So Lomachenko's got to be weary of that. I think with a virtuoso, not a good performance, not a great performance, but a virtuoso trademark type of performance from Lomachenko, if he gives us one of those, then who knows, man? With the way this fight played out, getting the decision, with Ward losing but still getting the decision, and Roman maybe not having his best performance last fight, maybe Lomachenko, if he has a virtuoso type performance against a guy like Nicholas Walters, one spot. We'll see, man. But definitely a lot of interesting things going on. For those of you who are watching this, all 58 of you, shout out to all you guys. Love you guys. Watching this, stay tuned on the channel. I went to the world famous Fifth Street Gym earlier today, and I got some good interviews. Nothing like anybody famous, like real famous, but I interviewed a couple of local fighters, like Larry Yanez. He sparred Guillermo Rigondeaux. I talked to him about that and other things. I spoke to this one dude who has an interesting story, and I'm going to not really get too deep into that, but you'll see when I put the video out. And then I also, Orlando Cuellar, he coached Antonio, didn't coach. He's worked with Lara, Bartholomew, Walters. He talked like he was into it. We were blue in the face. Great stuff coming out. So I'm glad I didn't go to this. I thought in November, because September, this fight in one of these fights in November, whether it was Pacquiao fight, the Ward fight, or the one that's coming up next week, I couldn't make it any one of those three. But I wanted to go to this one that happened tonight really badly, and I'm glad I didn't go, because if I was let's say I did get credentials, maybe I would, maybe I wouldn't. But if I did get credentials, if I was in press row right now, I'd be going off. I would, because I know that.
Score a card. He had a reward, basically.
Oh, Lord. Don't get me. Paulie's a freaking sellout.
Side piece.
You know. But I forgot what I was saying, man. Crap. What was I saying? I forgot. But I was saying I wanted to go to this fight. But if I was in press row, if I did have credentials and I was press row for this, I would be livid, because I know for a fact that there's a lot of people in the boxing media, agendas, like really negative agendas that are race driven, that are, you know, culturally driven, whatever. And whether Andre Ward put on a virtuoso performance, or whether Andre Ward lost a close fight, or whether Andre Ward clearly got beat, they were going to side with Andre Ward no matter what. They weren't going to give Kovalev his credit. And I know that people would be saying that Kovalev lost and that the judges gave Kovalev too many rounds and things of that nature. And I'd be livid. I'd be there saying, no, you're wrong, and this is an injustice to boxing that Ward got this decision tonight. Good performance, but it's still an injustice. Go to this fight because the undercard for one was trash, and the guy won, and I would be very pissed. I was pissed when I saw Marcus Brown get the decision over Hot Rod on Algeria undercard when I was there. And that's a fight that before it happened, I really didn't have a whole lot of emotional investment in it. As it went on, Hyrod was doing well. I didn't know much about him. He was an underdog. He was fighting very well, canvas, and then he got robbed, the hometown guy. He got booed by his own hometown fans. So with that being said,
I don't know anybody who thought Brown won.
Nobody thought Marcus Brown won except Marcus Brown. But be there at a fight of this magnitude to watch a guy who has, actually really put in and fought to the top and, risen from obscurity and really improved as a fighter. To watch him get to this point to where he's on pay-per-view in the biggest fight of his life, where he's getting probably more visibility than he's ever gotten before as a fighter, and to get robbed. So I'm glad I didn't go to this one. I probably won't go to a fight until probably December, whenever Shannon Briggs fights, or if they have any club shows here in South Florida again, or when I go fight or Adrian Granados beat up on Adrian Broner, hopefully on my birthday. That'd be a good fight. But it's a tough night. It truly is a tough night for boxing. But I know I'm rambling here. Alex, come over here.
Yeah.
Alex. Let's get some thoughts on the big payback. So, Alex, with this win for Andre Ward, although we don't consider it a win, where do you put him as far as, number one now?
Not number one. I don't know.
Regardless of the fact of whether you think he won or not, do you think Andre Ward is at least on the pound for pound list? Because I didn't have my pound for pound list. And
yeah.
Even if it was a lot. Yeah. So, listen, we're fair here. All right, be honest with you guys. I'm be honest with you. For Andre Ward to display the heart and courage he had, I'm putting him 10 on my pound for pound list. I'm putting him right on my pound for pound list. It's not just the fact that he overcame Kovalev. He was able to neutralize him for multiple rounds. That's what really impressed me. I knew he's always been great at neutralizing fighters, but do that. Probably the most devastating punch he's ever took in his career. That's what impressed me, and then to sustain that for a couple rounds, that's what impressed me. So he gets respect for that. Carl Frampton is number 10 on the ring. I think on mine I had either him or Francisco Vargas. Francisco Vargas had a draw in fight of the year. Cool, but Ward went in there with the most destructive force in boxing, held his own. So he gets hell of a lot of respect. I just don't think he won. That's all it is. But it's gonna be a lot of great fights. That should be cool. We got Parker fighting Ruiz. That should be cool. Bernard Hopkins, B-Hop, will be fighting his last one. Bernard Hopkins is the reason I started watching boxing in the first place, so I'm excited for that. To California for that one. I would be there in a heartbeat, but unfortunately I can't. So
Josh Molina.
I said Josh Molina.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, man. So it is what it is, man. Appreciate all 56 of you guys, 54 of you guys who are still trying to get off soon because I've been talking and I'm rambling and I kind of want to just get this video up. But any final thoughts? No final thoughts. Paul, any final thoughts?
March.
Danny Garcia and March. Hold on, let me bring the here, Paul. Anything you really want to say to the boxing fans out there?
All I gotta say, man, is if Louis Collazo means you like jelly, imagine what DSG's gonna do, man. You doubting the man. Swift Garcia. That's all I gotta say, man. March. I'm out.
Look at the shirt. Man.
Oh, yeah. You know what?
Oh yeah.
Show you the shirt.
He's gonna pull the shirt out.
That's it.
There you go.
That's it. I'm out.
All right. So for Brendan Taylor here, True School Sports, it's been another interesting night in boxing, another robbery in boxing. Shout out to Ward for a great fight. But yeah, man, I'm gonna get off and leave your comments down below. You guys are probably leaving comments in real time, but I'm not really looking at them right below. Take the time to subscribe, and you can love me. But I'm just a kid from where? From Dania. So until next time, take care, guys.